This is Margaret in Windsor, and I don't know, my phone, everything's good. Not funny. It's been all day. Anyway, I have been putting on YouTube about my kidnapping and my real name, and I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I was brought over in 41, kidnapped from Buckingham Palace and taken to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. Both twins were killed by their mother, Lina. They were born out of wedlock, and it was a hell of a life. I grew up being told that my name was Peggy, and I wrote a book about mind control, 76 till April Fool Day of 80, when I was full of antifreeze and should have died. It was a horrible, horrible miscarriage of justice. It's so hideous you have to try to laugh your way through life, one step in hell after another. And since law enforcement is involved and the people are afraid of it and don't care, quite frankly. But I wrote about mind control murders. I found out about my kidnapping in '83 when I was in a political campaign to replace the doctor I'd written about, Congressman Larry McDonald. The plane went down, the KAL, the Soviet shot it down en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. And I don't know if this video is going up. Something's wrong with my whole phone suddenly. But anyway, I was in that campaign, and that's later I found out my real name and the kidnapping and who kidnapped me and all of that. But the book, I'll go back to that. I had a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, and the antifreeze was put in the April Fool Day of 80, because that's really what this whole thing, my kidnapping and what was entailed, was an April Fool joke ongoing. And that was the letter I got from them, National Security Involved Ongoing Investigation. Now then, the murders, mind control murders, and Larry McDonald, Larry Flint was one, well, Larry McDonald, I've told all this, the media, national media, all of them knew about my kidnapping, but they know about the mind control murders and the patterns. You can make plain, you can put the pilot under mind control or the controller. Makes them veer off course just the way that the plane KAL did and was shot down because it was in Soviet airspace. Now I want to get back to this because I'm getting away from it. I do want to put this in here. Sonny Bono, Cher's husband or ex-husband, was a congressman too. He was mayor, well, now I'm forgetting that, Palm Springs, California, and then he became congressman from California. There's some other couple that were dead that fits into the patterns and everything, but he was skiing and hit a tree, and he was an avid skier, I believe, and but it's the time, date, and the patterns that fits into. So now that I want to go, I came here penniless, and have stayed that way pretty much since '86. My jobs were shut down. And I want to mention this one, the Virginia Tech shootings. That was mass. You can do it in one or two, and how do you prove it? These were done in patterns, and you would think that at some point it would be told before a world court or something. The media won't touch it. But anyway, the April the 16th of '07 shootings at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, and the abductions in murders also at University of Virginia, Charlottesville, which is on the other side north from me. And all I'm going to say and get off is FBI told me they've made it so ludicrous that everybody knows you're telling the truth. It gives them a chance to help or walk away. And they've walked, most of them. They want to kill the messenger, me, like that would stop it all. And that's so far from the truth. The only thing that'll stop it is finally telling the truth, and it's not gender related. I want to mention the last ones here, and then I'm going to leave it, because remember the words, they've made it so ludicrous. You have to see it up to get the gist of it. Not that it, people don't doubt this. They just don't want any part of it, and that's the joke. They're not immune to it either, okay? It should have been stopped a long time ago. But the abduction and murder of Hannah Graham, student at University of Virginia, and they have arrested Jesse Updike Matthew for that, and also for, well, they haven't arrested him and charged him with the Morgan Harrington yet murder, but Alexis Murphy is, she was from Livingston, Virginia, and she was a high school student, and they've charged Randy Taylor with that, and he's in prison, although they haven't found her body. Now, these are mind control murders, and the people that commit them are the ones doing the agency doing the programming, not the person. They're victims just like the person that got abducted and shot. Excuse me, but that's the truth of it. They in all of this, they can spend their life in prison for a murder that they had no control over. It was like a gun going off and shooting somebody, and nobody can prove who shot it. It just went off by itself. That's programming of people, or mass armies nowadays. It's gotten that far. Now then, before going any further, Jesse Matthews was hauled into court up in Fairfax, and there is a connection here with the rest of them, the murders and the patterns. And she's from India. Now then, I've always said that Alexis Murphy was a part of it too, because it's the patterns, the mind control, and the time, date, synchronicity, the data, not the forensic, that ties them together. And it's not gender related. So I want to, today the police and the law enforcement are searching Randy Taylor's land that he used to own, again, for Alexis Murphy and Samantha Clark. Now, Samantha Clark went missing some time back in that same area up there. All I'm going to say now is Samantha in it means Sammy. And so those who have followed the Facebook postings and the YouTube video and have known about this from way back. This started in '72, me telling about it. It was only when I worked for doctors that I knew the mechanism used was mind control. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't know if they find their bodies. I don't know if they tell the truth about all of this. All they had to do was tell the truth about me and my kidnapping and my abduction and my sons, Mark and Scott. I haven't seen. I don't know if they're alive or well. And basically, there's a lot more being done to me. It's never stopped. But that's where it's at. I hope it's told, because I'd like to have my name back and cleared. I'd like to have my father's name, a very beautiful man, and my mother's. And I'd like to have my country back.